Now here for your Emanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez fight prediction video now for you guys. And yes, what an exciting one. I'm really hyped for this one, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a good one. It's for the WBO Junior Lightweight World Championship. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it is going to be a good scrap. We got two Mexicans in the main event this Saturday. Top rank event. I can't wait. It's gonna be a good one, to be fair. The only bad thing with the top rank events is that we need to watch out for robberies because there's bloody many. But let's hope that we get a good call here if it goes the distance, which it could do. Let's just get into the prediction video and I'll say what I think now. So yeah, anyway, I do think that this will be a really interesting one, to be fair. Obviously, Oscar Valdez is coming off a win and Navarrete is coming off a win. They're both coming off wins. Oscar Valdez, I think he's got 4 wins out of his previous 5. His one loss was to Shakur Stevenson. Emanuel Navarrete, he's got 5 wins out of his last 5. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. So obviously, Navarrete is very, very, very unorthodox. And it's going to be interesting to see how Valdez does end up dealing with this, to be honest with you. I mean, you've got Oscar Valdez, who's a really good come-forward fighter, doesn't get out your face. He's very good at coming forward, and he's got great movement, got great hand movement, great footwork. Oscar Valdez is very good at cutting the ring down, and it's going to be interesting to see how Navarrete can actually deal with Valdez's consistent pressure and coming at him. I mean, you never know, it could work into Navarrete's game. I mean, obviously, Navarrete's a really good, Emanuel's a really good, he's a very good power puncher. He works the body really, really well. And I'm not sure if many people have noticed this about Oscar Valdez, but he does stand quite square on. And he could be open to some of those body shots, to be fair. And he could be open to those shots to the liver. To be fair, that Emanuel could possibly go for. So that's going to be interesting. But I mean, I do think overall Valdez has got a better boxing IQ than Emanuel has, though. To be fair, though, and I feel like Valdez has got, more enough than ability to actually be able to go in there, cut the ring down. He works at angles really, really well, and I feel like Valdez could really confuse Emanuel Navarrete, and it could confuse him to go for the attacks. To be fair, Navarrete, I feel like with him, Emanuel Navarrete does telegraph his punches a bit too much for my liking. He telegraphs the jab a lot, and I feel like his jab is very sloppy. He's got a good right hand, though, but the jab's really sloppy, to be fair, and telegraphs that a lot. And Oscar Valdez is just going to read that very, very well, and he'll be able to take advantage of it. Emanuel Navarrete, he also doesn't when he goes for his offense, he's obviously good. He can be a bit slow at times, but he's got some really good punch power. Valdez is very quick, and Valdez is known for his quick, good, solid combinations that he lands. Valdez is very good with his combos, very, very, very good, and that, in my opinion, could cause a massive problem for Emanuel. I mean, Valdez is always in a great fight. Emanuel's also always in a good scrap as well. To be fair, I feel like in going into this fight, Valdez is probably the better boxer overall, and you could argue he's the harder hitter as well. I do think coming into this fight, Valdez does hold the majority of the advantages in this one. Neither of them have ever been knocked out. Both their losses have come by unanimous decision. Emanuel Navarrete's loss was quite early on in his career, like in his 6th or 7th fight. Then obviously Valdez's was quite recently to Shakur Stevenson. But yeah, obviously they're Mexicans, so I feel like we're going to see a good all-out war in this fight. I mean, Emanuel Navarrete does like some dogfights, to be fair. And Valdez kind of does as well. Valdez does like the dogfights, but I feel like Valdez is also able to rely on his boxing. And I feel like Emanuel Navarrete can't. He needs to fully put it on Valdez, but it's going to be really, really hard to do, in my opinion. But I feel like Emanuel Navarrete, if he wants to win, he really needs to get that body work going, to be fair. And I feel like Valdez is, vulnerable to the body because of how square on he does stand, in my opinion. But he does work his angles well, and he does cut the ring down well, and and when he consistently comes up to you and he's in your face the whole time, Valdez doesn't really give you much time to think, and he's got really high punch volume, and he's good at not really letting his opponents get too much offense on him. But I mean, it kind of does depend on who he is fighting, though. I feel like, obviously, against Shakur, Shakur's different. Against Adam Lopez, Lopez did all right in that fight as well. People were saying that he won. I'm not sure, to be fair, but I mean, it depends who he's fighting. Against Emanuel Navarrete, I feel like it is a good fight for Valdez, to be fair. Just the amount that he dropped that, Navarrete drops his hands all the time, and just the amount of sloppy mistakes that he does make, in my opinion, to be fair. But, it's going to be interesting, because if we can see a good dust-up here, both are really hard hitters, and both are Mexicans. Both have good chins, but they're really good hard hitters. But I feel like in this fight, it would be good to see, Valdez stick to the boxing a bit, and I feel like Valdez will possibly actually be able to outwork Navarrete, in my opinion, and put it on him. Navarrete isn't well known for a great gas tank. He does kind of get worse as the rounds go on. Valdez, he hasn't got the most amazing gas tank ever, but it's not bad, but, it's definitely better than Emanuel Navarrete, in my opinion. But yeah, I feel like Oscar Valdez will end up outworking Emanuel Navarrete, and I think Oscar Valdez will win this fight. I mean, I'm going to say it should be a unanimous decision, but with Top Rank, you never know. I do kind of feel like Top Rank actually want Emanuel Navarrete to win, so I feel like, Valdez is going to have to, win dominantly. But you can argue, though, that, with Top Rank, Oscar Valdez has actually been in some questionable decisions, though, to be fair. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I have got Oscar Valdez winning. I feel like he will be able to outwork Emmanuel. That's what I think. Anyway, thanks for watching this video of King Oles. I'll speak to you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.